Please be seated. This summer, we continue our summer worship series about women in the Bible, and this week our text is from the book of Esther. Sometime later, King Xerxes promoted Haman, son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, over all the other nobles, making him the most powerful official in the Persian Empire. All the king's officials would bow down before Haman to show him respect whenever he passed by. So the king had commanded. But Mordecai, a Jew, refused to bow down or show him respect. Then the palace officials at the king's gate asked Mordecai, "Why are you disobeying the king's command?" And they spoke to him day after day, but still he refused to comply with the order. So they spoke to Haman about this to see if he would tolerate Mordecai's conduct, since Mordecai had told them he was a Jew. When Haman saw that Mordecai would not bow down or show him respect, he was filled with rage. He had learned of Mordecai's nationality, so he decided it was not enough to lay hands on Mordecai alone. Instead, he looked away for a way to destroy all the Jews throughout the entire empire of Xerxes. So in the month of April, during the 12th year of King Xerxes' reign, lots were cast in Haman's presence to determine the best day in the month to take action. Then Haman approached King Xerxes and said, "There's a certain race of people scattered throughout all the provinces of your empire who keep themselves separate from everyone else. Their laws are different from those of any other people, and they refuse to obey the laws of the king. So it is not in the king's interest to let them live. If it pleases the king, issue a decree that they may be destroyed. And I will give 10,000 large sacks of silver to the government administrators to be deposited in the royal treasury." The king agreed, confirming his decision by removing his signet ring from his finger and giving it to Haman, the enemy of the Jews. The king said, "The money and the people are both yours to do with as you see fit." Word of God, word of life.
Thanks be to God.
This story that I read comes from Esther chapter 3. But let me give you a little background about the story of Esther, especially because I didn't mention Esther at all in that reading. Seems kind of odd. But let me give you a little background as to the story of Esther. Esther takes place in the time of after the captivity. It's around the year 400 BC. And it's a time when the Persian Empire had already defeated the Babylonians and had freed the Jewish people technically from slavery, or basically they were allowed to return home, but most of them didn't. They continued to live in a foreign land. And so here we are in the land of Persia, which is the world empire at the time, and the king, well, he got together with some of his friends, they got a bit drunk, and they wanted the queen to come and dance before them in a very lewd and inappropriate way. She refused, and so he had her exiled. And so he needed a new queen. So he did what I guess kings did back then. He had a beauty contest, and the winner was going to be the next queen. And the winner of that contest was a young Jewish woman named Esther. Esther is then moved into a life of privilege, a life of elegance, a life of wealthiness. She gets to be queen of a very large empire, and she gets all the other things that go with that. She has an uncle named Mordecai, and Mordecai was the person that was mentioned in this story, because as she enjoys this life of privilege and luxury that comes from winning this beauty contest, Mordecai is in a bit of trouble. You see, one of the servants, the administrators or officials in the land under King Xerxes in Persia, rises to prominence, and the king puts him above all other officials. Even to the extent that, just like with the king, whenever he walks by, people are to turn and bow down and just go, "Oh, you are the greatest, oh, you're the greatest," that kind of stuff, right? And Mordecai refuses. He can't, because it's against his culture, his laws, his own personal laws, his own faith. He says, "No, we're not going to, I can't do this." And when he's questioned, he says, "Why?" Haman, the official, is outraged that someone would not bow down and worship him. And so he has a plot. He's not going to kill just Mordecai, as we read in the story. He's going to kill all of the Jewish people. Talk about a guy with a large ego, you know? I mean, you're not going to go against the guy that offends you. You're going to kill him and his relatives and everybody that shares an ethnicity with him. It's basically genocide. That's the kind of evil that we see that is going on. So what does Mordecai do? He knows that there's a plan, and if you read the entire story of Esther, the plan gets very intricate. Haman's going to build some gallows, and he's going to do a public display. Now he has authority from the king to kill all the Jews. He's going to parade them forward and do all this other stuff. So Mordecai's desperate, because him and everybody whom he loves and all of God's people that are nearby are going to be killed. So what does he do? He goes to Esther, and he pleads for her for help. And she is reluctant. Why? Well, because the king. The law is that she cannot go into the king's presence unless she's summoned. So she just can't walk up to him and say, hey, I know we got a problem here. That's way too bold, because she knows what happened to the last queen who disobeyed the rules. Mordecai says to her, you got to do this. And she's still hesitant. She's reluctant. And then Mordecai said this in chapter 4. Mordecai sent this reply to Esther. Don't think for a moment that because you're in the palace, you will escape when all the other Jews are killed. If you keep quiet at a time like this, deliverance and relief from the Jews will arise from some other place, but you and your relatives will die. Who knows if perhaps you were made queen for such a time as this. Powerful words. Esther is moved and challenged by them. And so she does an incredibly courageous thing. She walks unannounced, uninvited into the presence of the king, and she is able to let the king know what is going on. And as a result, Haman, the official, because he said he's going to kill all the Jews, and she's Jewish, and she's the queen, the king has Haman and his lackeys hung in the gallows instead. And the people are saved because of her courageous act. So it's a great story. And there's a story that we can learn a lot from. And I think the first thing is this, and it comes from there's three main lessons that I think that can really help us as we examine how we can build our faith can be built from the story. And the first one comes from this. When Mordecai is trying to challenge and convince and encourage Esther, he says to her, don't think that you're going to escape just because you live in a safe place in the palace. Of course, she's not going to be hung. Haman's never going to try and hang the queen or kill her. And so she might think that she has it safe because she's protected by her status, by her privilege. And Mordecai says to her, no, you're not going to escape unscathed. You yourself will be destroyed. And what he's meaning is that although she will not physically die, emotionally and spiritually, she will begin to decay. Because God is going to save the Jewish people. Mordecai boldly complains. He says relief and help will come from someplace else. God has a plan here, but if you don't participate in it, then you will suffer. You will slowly die. And this is what happens. See, God doesn't need Esther to save the people. God doesn't need us to do courageous things and to stand up and to move and build God's kingdom. God is capable of doing that without us. We ourselves need to be part of what God is doing in this world, or else we slowly perish inside. Our ability to love others diminishes if we are not putting ourselves in a position to join in with God and what God is doing in this world. Our ability to sense and to see God's presence and how God's moving diminishes if we are not joining in to what God is doing. Our ability to even receive the blessings of God goes away. And we perish first on the inside, then slowly on the outside. It's not that God needs us. It's that we need God. And so when we are presented with these opportunities, when these clear-cut examples of, okay, God's moving and we need to jump on board, and we choose not to, then it is us who suffers, not God. That's an important lesson that we learn from this story of Esther. And the second one is this. Esther is an incredibly courageous story, and she shows what courage really is when you take a risk for the benefit of others. That's what the ultimate forms of what courage is. But Esther is also being obedient. She's doing the right thing, even though it is incredibly hard for her, and it's scary to do what she's doing. But because she's being obedient, her faith grows and builds and becomes something even more incredible. And that's the lesson we saw in Abigail. That's the lesson we saw with Sarah. That's the lesson we saw with Mary, the mother of Jesus. It's the repeated lesson over and over again. For our faith to grow, We need to be obedient to what God is calling us to be, to act, and to live. And without obedience, our faith diminishes. Our faith crumbles up into something that looks ugly and offensive to this world. If we could just be obedient, we don't even have to understand why God asks us to do something, but if we're willing to be obedient, then our faith grows. It's kind of like an equation. And I know I'm not supposed to do these equations. If you do this, then this happens. But we see a pattern happening in all these stories that we're reading about these courageous women of faith throughout the summer. As they're obedient, their faith grows. Their ability to trust God grows. Their ability to see and understand God grows. Obedience is part of the package. And Esther is presented with a situation where she has to be obedient. And it takes courage because she's in a scary situation. She's dealing with people of power that can end her life at a moment's notice. But she chooses obedience. And she chooses the right thing. And because of it, her faith grows. And the last lesson that we have is from those final words that Mordecai says in chapter 4. When he says, "Who knows, perhaps you were made queen for such a time as this." It's a powerful phrase. It's all about God's providence. Providence is that things are working out in the ways that God had designed for them to work out, despite all of our bad choices and all the evil things that we do. God's providence. It's easy for Esther to think she won that contest because she was a good-looking girl. It's easy for her to think that it was all because of her ability to charm and to sing and dance and do whatever they did in beauty contests back then. It's easier to think that it's because she's special. Because that's probably what the culture taught her, and that's what our culture teaches us. I have a successful business because I worked hard, and I'm intelligent, and I'm good. I won the beauty contest because, well, I can do all the things that are necessary. I've been successful, or I've gotten this because of me. And Mordecai's words fly straight in the face of that and says, who knows, maybe this has happened in your life for this very moment. Maybe you were given your house for the moment when your neighbor needed help, and you could reach out and help them in a way that no one else could. Maybe you were given that promotion so that you could open up doors of blessings for other people. Maybe you were given that car so that you could give rides to someone in need. We don't always know, but we're presented with opportunities. And the key here, and this is another repeated theme, is that we can't think of ourselves as being at the center of the universe. If we think that everything revolves around us, all we're going to think about is, hey, this is my reward. This is what I get for being such a good guy. I get to enjoy this wonderful vacation. Maybe I'm not supposed to enjoy that wonderful vacation. Maybe it is the time for me to invite someone else to come and to experience rest who can't. Maybe we have been blessed for such a time as this. And that's a great thing for us to take away in our minds, that phrase, for such a time as this. That phrase has always stuck with me. I read this it's got to be, 40 years ago I first read this story. But that phrase, all these days, has always stuck with me, for such a time as this. Because whenever I'm in a moment where I don't know what's going on, what's happening, where there's an opportunity, I have to remind myself, well, maybe I've met that person. Maybe I've been blessed all my life for such a time as this. That person I met last week that really needed me to listen. Lucy and I were at the store, and we were checking out, and there was a woman there that was working at Walmart, and as we were checking out, she asked us what we were doing, and we explained, and it opened a floodgate. She needed to talk. She needed to express, because she had her children taken away from her, and so she needed someone to talk to and to hear her story, because no one would listen to her. So she starts talking to us. And she starts talking and talking. And it was very easy for us. We were there for literally over 20 minutes listening to her. Because she needed this. And she's breaking down and crying. And she's an employee of Walmart. And it's easy to say, get your act together. We got more important stuff to do, right? I had to tell people online, this is going to take a while. I'm going to go someplace else. I had to do that many times. Because I knew that this woman, she needed to be heard. And all I was concerned about is I hope she doesn't lose her job. She was in such pain that my schedule and my busy things were irrelevant, because maybe I was brought to that very Walmart for such a time as this. That's the kind of attitude that we need to get attitude that Esther had. Two more stories, if I can. Time for two more stories? And there are two more modern-day examples of Esther's that I was really impressed with that I read recently in the newspaper. One of them was a young woman on a college campus. She had been sexually assaulted by a prominent athlete at that college campus. And she was aghast at her life was just destroyed. And afterwards, it was just even further destroyed by the indifference that this athlete had towards her. Like she was something he could just do what he wanted with and just toss her aside. So she decided to do the courageous thing, because this kind of culture is rampant all across America, where athletes and people in prominent positions, especially men, think that they can just take women whenever they want and do whatever they want with them. So she decided to lodge a complaint, knowing that this might have some backlash, but totally unprepared for the fact that publicly the entire school would blame her, would say it was her fault for putting herself in a position where she be taken advantage of. She was scorned in the student newspaper. She was mocked on social media. All because she stood up and she was courageous. And she said, I don't even want justice for myself. I just want the culture of this university to change. That is a courageous woman who wants to stand up so that other people will not be abused, even at a tremendous cost to herself. And then there was another woman, and it was someone else who was sharing the story with me. She's an administrator in an office, and her boss came to her and asked her to do something, well, illegal, so that they could cover up their liability towards some customers that they had, well, let down. And basically she was in a situation where she had to lie, and she had to approach her boss and say, no, I can't do this. He's like, well, of course you can. You can do it. Just do this, just fudge a little bit, and we'll be safe as a company. And she says, no, that is wrong. And he goes, no, as long as they don't know about it, then it's not wrong. And she had to stand up to a person who had the power to end her employment. And she had to worry about where is she going to feed, how is she going to feed her kids? How is she going to take care of her family? But yet she still had to stand up and say, no, this is wrong. She had to be courageous. We are faced with situations like this all around us. The question is do we realize that oftentimes the blessings that we've been given, the places that we've been put in, the privilege and the power and the affluence that we have, maybe it's not just rewards for good behavior, but maybe God has given it to us at such a time as this. Throughout this week, ask yourself that question. Remind yourself and see the kind of opportunities that you have to bring hope and love and justice in this world. Amen? Amen. Our takeaways for today. Remember, our takeaways are the important truths that we can hook our faith on and take home with us. The first one is this. God has a plan. Our participation in it brings blessings to us. Our ignoring how God is moving brings death and destruction into our lives. Even at a very slow pace, it's still happening. The second one, obedience is how our faith grows. It's obedience that we begin to learn to trust God, only if we're willing to be obedient. The third one, for such a time as this, remember that phrase. Take it home with you. Think about it. Let it remind you of how God is moving, and let it open up doors for you. Let's stand for our song of the day.